So the very final thing that I'm going to talk about is the title itself, which perhaps is the place to start, but also we've come full circle now. It is a grain of wheat. So what is a grain of wheat? Well, I think that bit is fairly obvious, but what is the significance of it? I'm going to go back to the point I made earlier about the forest and the train being kind of two extremes. The forest is a kind of very natural place, and again, the grain of wheat is a very natural image. So there is and again and again we see these images of suffering and sacrifice. Going back to the kind of the Christian analogy, Christ died for our sins so that we could live. The grain of wheat has to die, and I've put up on the slide here, the very last slide here, a quote from the Bible, from John. Verily I say unto you, except a corn of wheat fall into the ground and die, it abideth alone. But if it die, it bringeth forth much fruit. Okay, let's break that down a little bit. Verily, verily I say unto you. We can get that. Truthfully, here I'm saying, except a corn of wheat fall into the ground and die, it abideth alone. So a grain of wheat will live alone, abide alone, unless it dies. If it die, it bringeth forth much fruit. So the idea that the grain of corn, the corn of wheat that has kind of got all the different, all the seeds in it, if it lives, it is just itself. But when it dies, when it falls into the ground, it becomes many seeds, and that brings forth, more life, more wheat. And obviously this is a natural thing, but it is also, it is a human thing. It is food, it is nourishment. So at first glance, it's a very kind of positive, natural image, sort of circle of life. Everything must die that new things can grow. But obviously when we look at how much sacrifice there has been in this novel, and the detail with, in chapter 9, I've put up the line here, General R says that the freedom fighters called bullets maize grains, and it's a very small throwaway line. But a sort of a really devastating one, to think of bullets as seeds, as grains that they're scattering, and every death that they're causing by them is helping to grow something new, and hopefully something nourishing and helpful. So the grains as bullets is a really unsettling image, but I think one that nicely summarizes so much of this novel, that on one hand it is a longing for something free and pure and nourishing and healthy, and at the same time an engaging with the suffering, the difficulty, and then making sure that we are planting and growing something that will be good and strong and nourishing, and not something that is going to be destructive. So that is my brief introduction to Grain of Wheat. We're hopefully going to get some kind of discussion board set up, and I'm really interested to hear what your interpretations are, and if you agree and disagree with anything I've been saying, and I'll be happy to kind of join in a discussion, and if any of you want to sort of speak to me individually, I'm sure you've got all contact details now, so feel free to do so. I'm very much going to be around on Skype, on email, on phone, whatever, so let me know what you think and keep in touch.